Fire erupts in a clothing store in Rostov-on-Don. The Russian Interior Ministry says police units have been sent to cordon off the marketplace. More details on this later in the news. Good evening, I am Nina Richielago Flores. This is Mata ng Agila International. Now for the headlines. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. is fully committed to ensure the safe return of the Filipino seafarers. NTC and KBP find possible violations of a TV network's fake news. The COP28 summit now opens in Dubai. Dozens of exotic animals have been seized from a passenger at a Peru airport. And find out everything you need to know about the Asia Artist Awards 2023. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has reassured the public that the government is committed to doing everything possible to secure the release of the 17 Filipino seafarers currently held hostage by Houthi rebels in the Red Sea.
Mga bagay na kailangan agad na asikasuhin. Isa na doon, yung ating mga kababayan, mga kapwa-Pilipino natin na na-hostage. 17 sila na na-hostage at ginagawa natin lahat ng paraan upang sila ay maiuwi na.
Despite initial plans to attend the United Nations Climate Change Conference or COP28 in Dubai, President Marcos decided to cancel his trip to focus on addressing the urgent matter of the seafarers' captivity. He announced the formation of a delegation tasked with negotiating with the Houthi rebels in order to facilitate the release of the Filipino hostages. Expressing regret to the Filipino community in the UAE, the president apologized for the abrupt cancellation of his Dubai trip, emphasizing the necessity of prioritizing the ongoing hostage situation in the Red Sea.
I feel very bad that I will not be able to do what you do this time. Ngunit, ay pinapangako ko sa inyo, pagka nagkaroon ng iba pang pagkakataon, ay gagawin natin ulit yan. At I will make it up to you at gagawin pa natin yung mas magandang programa pa para naman makabawi naman ako sa inyo.
A mixed oil pump price adjustment is expected to take effect next week. According to the estimates of Oil Industry Management Bureau, gasoline prices can go up by 25 to 45 centavos per liter. Kerosene, on the other hand, could remain unchanged or rise by 10 centavos per liter. Meanwhile, diesel prices are predicted to go down by 25 to 40 centavos per liter. Department of Energy said that the oil price movements are due to supply cuts of the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, or OPEC. Storm-related drop in oil output in Kazakhstan and the weakening value of the U.S. dollar. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas has seen the country's inflation to cool down in November. The central bank projected that the November inflation rate could drop from 4.9% in October between 4 to 4.8%. The central bank disclosed that the factors of this can be countered by the lower prices of vegetables and petroleum products, as well as the strengthening peso value against the U.S. dollar. Meanwhile, the Philippine Statistics Authority, or PSA, is scheduled to release the official inflation data on December the 5th. The National Telecommunications Commission, or NTC, and the Kapisanan ng mga Broadcaster sa Pilipinas, or KBP, have found a possible violation when a TV network aired a fake news against House Speaker Martin Romualdez. During a broadcast, Sunshine Media Network Incorporated, or SMNI, claimed that House Speaker Martin Romualdez spent about 1.8 billion pesos on his travels within a year. NTC Deputy Commissioner Alvin Blanceos said that there was a violation of the provision of the broadcasting franchise, particularly in Section 4, which states that the network should not use its facilities to spread false information. The Congress is firm that the said network is spreading fake news. The House of Representatives claims that from January to October of this year, it only spent 39 million pesos for its official trips. This includes 4 million pesos from the office of the Speaker. The Philippine government has introduced a joint memorandum circular outlining the implementing rules and regulations for Executive Order 32, which aims to streamline the process involved in the construction of telecommunications and internet infrastructure. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. issued the executive order on the 4th of July to simplify the rules for getting permission and licenses for building and maintaining these networks. Now there's a new form that works everywhere in the country for getting a building permit. People who want a permit need to fill out this form and submit property documents, technical documents, height clearance permits, and homeowners association clearances. The rules and regulations further detail the procedures for obtaining clearances from other government agencies, emphasizing the need for local governments to align their processes with the directives of the executive order. National Security Advisor Eduardo Año highlighted China's strategy of sowing divisions among Filipinos over tensions in the West Philippine Sea. During his visit to Pagasa Island for the inauguration of a new Philippine Coast Guard building, the security advisor personally observed at least 10 Chinese militia vessels, a Coast Guard vessel, and a Navy warship in the vicinity. He underscored the importance of the newly constructed facility in effectively monitoring activities near the island. Año emphasized China's use of information operations specifically crafted to create internal discord. Stressing the need for a united front, he urged Filipinos to counter Beijing's falsehoods with a powerful and cohesive message. However, Año expressed regret that limited information in previous years had led some to doubt the reality of Chinese harassment toward Filipino fishermen and personnel. French Defense Minister Sébastien Lecornu is scheduled to visit the Philippines on Saturday for discussions with Defense Secretary Gilberto Teodoro. The French embassy announced that the visit will include a working lunch and a high-level meeting with Teodoro, along with officials from both the Philippines and France. While the specific agenda of the meeting was not disclosed in the statement, it follows a previous phone conversation between President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and French President Emmanuel Macron. During that call, Marcos expressed gratitude to France for supporting the Philippines' position on the issues in the West Philippine Sea and for deploying vessels for patrols. The two leaders also pledged to strengthen the strategic partnership between their countries. Coming up, 2023 United Nations Climate Change Conference, also known as COP28, opens in Dubai. Support for Joe Biden and Netanyahu plummet for their handling for the Gaza-Israel war. And Tesla's Cybertruck finally hits the open market. Please stay tuned. Mata ng Agila International will be back after a short break.
Tungkol sa usaping ito.
Nasa puso dapat ng Pilipino to love what is Filipino.
Kaya dapat ihayag ng saloobin.
Kahit gaano kasi karami yung doktor natin, kung may bayad din, baliwala din.
Paano makakabili ang Pilipino ng bigas?
Himayin ang hinaing.
Gaano karaming pera bang kailangan mo para maging masaya ka?
Alamin ang pwedeng gawin.
So I think the lesson is, pag may fake news, i-correct ka agad ng people concerned.
Sagutin mo agad. Mag-reality check tayo.
Check yun.
Check.
Check na check.
Double check.
Check na check tayo dyan.
Ngayong linggo sa Cine Throwback.
Baka talagang hindi marunong sumayaw. Hindi ko gusto. Salita mo, Franco. Kaya lumayaw kung hindi mo gusto. Sorry, may gusto ka bang gawin?
Biro niyo? Kamuntik na akong maniwala sa inyo.
Aba, hindi ito imposible yan. Hindi kami maaaring magtaksyon sa iyong mama. Okay, kikilo!
Ngayong linggo, alas 12 ng tanghali. Dito lang sa Net 25.
Don, pero TV the Korean prankster.
Okay ang haba at huwag niyo pong kakalimutan manood ng Oh No, It's B.O.
It's beer only.
Baby! 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 Hello!
No, Tagalog.
No English?
Ano ito?
Korean K-pop?
First time contact. Ngayon na ba?
Oo, ngayon lang, kuya. Nahirapan na nga ako sa inyo.
Kuya, no traffic there.
Pwede nga tayo mga You are, not good. You always, the motor, the daan, traffic, your country clean, no traffic, straight, floor. I will report you.
Dito na tayo, ma'am.
Correct kayo dyan! 8 p.m. po sa Sabado na! Huwag niyong kakalimutan! Hosted by Joey Galayon, the Henyo Master!
This portion is brought to you by Brobic Builders.
Welcome back to Mata ng Agila International. More than 200 nations at the Worldwide Climate Conference have decided to launch a loss and damage fund to support countries hit by global warming. The landmark announcement came at the start of the COP28 climate talks being held in the United Arab Emirates. Thomas I. Likeness has the details.
Climate finance has been a key sticking point at past climate meetings. Wealthy nations most responsible for emissions have not delivered on promises to support vulnerable states who are most affected but least responsible for global warming. The Emirates say they will kick in $100 million to the fund. The European Union followed with $246 million. More pledges are expected in coming days, but the amounts so far fall well short of the $100 billion that developing nations say they need. A central focus of COP28 will be the limited progress on curbing global warming. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres paints a bleak picture.
We are living through climate collapse in real time, and the impact is devastating.
He says communities around the world have been pounded by fires, floods, and soaring temperatures. Guterres says that should trigger world leaders to act. As the conference opened, concerns had been raised about a conflict of interest for COP President Sultan Ahmed Al Jaber, who's also head of the Emirates' national oil giant. Jaber denies he used the COP presidency to pursue new fossil fuel deals, but in his opening address he says fossil fuels cannot be ignored.
We must look for ways and ensure the inclusion of the role of fossil fuels.
UN Climate Chief Simon Steele agrees that fossil fuels have to be talked about, but he says it's time for their use to come to an end.
If we do not signal the terminal decline of the fossil fuel era as we know it, we welcome our own terminal decline.
It's hard to say if any real action will come out of the fortnight-long gabfest. Past conferences have produced climate treaties, but despite those agreements, global temperatures continue to rise. As global leaders and experts continue their discussions, the world waits to see whether the commitments made this month in Dubai will remain just promises on paper or result in real action on the climate front. Thomas I. Likeness from Atanang Agila International. Trusted, connected, on point.
Thousands of people have gathered in Dubai for the annual climate change conference. Haji Rieta for the details.
COP28 of 28 United Nations Climate Change Conference stands as a pivotal moment in the collective effort to combat climate change globally. Representatives from nations worldwide have convened to deliberate and negotiate strategies aimed at realizing the ambitious goals outlined in the Paris Agreement, with the primary focus revolving around mitigating greenhouse gas emissions, adapting to the consequences of climate change, and cultivating international collaboration. Under intensifying pressure and with time ticking away, the outcomes of COP28 are poised to profoundly influence the world's response to the climate crisis in the years ahead.
Live from the United Arab Emirates, we have correspondent Haji Rieta. Hello, Haji.
Hi, Nina.
I would like to know if you'd be able to provide some insights into the expectations and reactions within the Filipino community in Dubai regarding President Ferdinand Marcos's planned visit.
Yes, Nina, the Filipino community, everyone is very excited to meet the President Bongbong Marcos Jr., but unfortunately he was not able to attend due to some reason. They were eager to meet the President, some of them were saddened and dismayed about this, but they do understand the reason behind the absence of President Bongbong Marcos in Dubai.
There probably will be another time for that. They should keep hoping. Following the cancellation of the meeting, how has the community responded and what sentiments are prevalent among its members?
Yes, according to some OFWs that we have interviewed earlier, they were really excited they really wish to meet President Bongbong Marcos so that they can voice out their sentiment, especially the condition of living in the Philippines, that despite being abroad, it seems like their earnings are not enough to meet the cost of living in the Philippines, especially the basic needs. The cost of basic needs keep on rising in the Philippines. That's why they really wish to meet President Bongbong Marcos so that they have the chance to voice out the sentiments to the president.
In light of the Philippines' vulnerability to climate change, what do community members believe are crucial measures for building climate resilience?
According to some of the community leaders, especially in the Filipino community that we have interviewed earlier, they said that the ability to adapt to the climate change is one of the crucial measures that everyone should be having or should be practicing. As we know, Philippines is one of the countries in the Southeast Asia that is experiencing a lot of thunderstorm, a lot of typhoon. So in order to adapt into that situation, that would be one of the crucial measures that everyone should have. Nina.
Haji Rieta, thank you very much for being our eyes and ears over there at the United Arab Emirates. Minnie Chan, a reporter from Hong Kong's South China Morning Post, has gone missing in China following a work trip, sparking concerns of possible detention by Chinese authorities. Chan, an award-winning journalist, attended the Shangsan Forum in Beijing but became unreachable after the three-day security conference concluded on the 31st of October. The South China Morning Post, owned by Chinese tech giant Alibaba, has only stated that Chan is on personal leave, citing privacy concerns and providing no further details. Her last Facebook post on the 11th of November features holiday photos, a departure from her usual posts, highlighting her latest articles and commentary in Chinese. Chan has also not responded to comments from social media friends inquiring about her whereabouts. China ranked as the world's worst jailer of journalists after Iran last year, with at least 43 in custody by December, according to the Committee to Protect Journalists. Somalia's maritime police force has escalated patrols in the Gulf of Aden in response to a recent failed pirate hijacking. The maritime force faces renewed challenges not only from groups like Al-Shabaab and IS, but also from a resurgence of piracy. Patrols are now operating around the clock to discourage pirate activities. In a recent incident, the U.S. military captured 5 individuals attempting to hijack an Israeli-linked tanker off the Yemeni coast. The pirates attempted to flee using speedboats, but ultimately surrendered after a pursuit by the USS Mason, an American destroyer. While piracy incidents had significantly decreased since the peak in 2011, recent developments indicate a resurgence, partly attributed to Iran-backed militant groups gaining prominence following the start of the Israel-Hamas war. Kim Yo-jong, the sister of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, rejects a chance of restarting talks with Washington. She asserts that North Korea will never sit face-to-face with the United States. She insists that Pyongyang's sovereignty can never be an agenda item for negotiations. She also claims that the main threat to international peace and security comes from the United States' arbitrary practices to disturb peace and security. Meanwhile, to celebrate North Korea's Aviation Day, Kim Jong-un visited the Pyongyang's Air Force Base with his daughter. They watched demonstration flights and congratulated their air troops. War experts say North Korea continues to strengthen its spy satellite defense to counter the growing presence of the United States in the Asia-Pacific region. Meanwhile, gunfire erupted in Guinea-Bissau's capital on Friday morning following an attempt by National Guard soldiers to free a detained minister and a senior state official. The soldiers took the officials and sought refuge in the barracks south of the capital, prompting intervention by special forces when negotiations failed, leading to an exchange of gunfire. Guinea-Bissau's finance minister and secretary of state for the treasury were detained amid investigations into the alleged irregular withdrawal of $10 million of state funds. Both officials were questioned by an anti-corruption inquiry on Thursday afternoon to clarify payments to 11 companies. Subsequently, they were arrested and detained to avoid jeopardizing the ongoing investigations. Later that evening, National Guard soldiers invaded the police cells and extricated the detained officials, taking them to an undisclosed location. The circumstances behind the shooting remain unclear. Police in Ecuador say they have arrested an alleged leader of Los Lobos, a prominent criminal organization specializing in drug trafficking within the region. The man, named only as Jaime S.C., was armed and carrying a large sum of money when police stopped his luxury car in the port city of Puerto Bolivar. Gunmen believed to belong to his gang opened fire as the officers transferred Jaime S.C. to police headquarters. One policeman was injured in the shooting. Soldiers deployed to guard the police headquarters where the suspect was locked up were later also fired upon. Los Lobos is estimated to have 8,000 members and has become one of the most powerful criminal organizations in the Latin American country. Many of its members are in jail, but the gang continues to operate from behind bars and is accused of having instigated some of Ecuador's bloodiest prison riots. The gang is also thought to have links with the Mexican Jalisco New Generation cartel, for which it smuggles products from Colombia through Ecuador's port cities into the United States and various parts of Europe. Ecuador has been engulfed by a wave of violence, which has seen its murder rate quadruple between 2018 and 2022. Ecuador's new president, Daniel Noboa, has promised to tackle drug trafficking and break the stranglehold the gangs have on the country. Angola has rebuffed a new production quota given to it by OPEC. Based on Thursday's OPEC agreement, Angola should produce 1.11 million barrels per day. But Angola's OPEC governor, Estevão Pedro, says they intend to produce 1.18 million barrels a day of oil. Pedro considers OPEC's quota as unfair, saying they are not disobeying policies, but OPEC should consider their proposal. Trade oil analysts believe that Angola may exit the oil bloc. They say Angola's defiance will bring back troubling memories of Ecuador's exit from the OPEC. A recent poll says approval ratings for the United States President and Israeli President or Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu have declined. The dwindling support for the two leaders, according to analysts, shows a growing discontent among their residents with their handling of the war in Gaza. In New York, RT correspondent Caleb Mopin reports.
Americans are tired of wars and foreign entanglements, so it shouldn't be surprising that with Joe Biden escalating his support for Israel amid its attacks on Gaza, amid the ongoing support for Ukraine against Russia, that the president's popularity is tanking. Poll numbers for the White House are dismal.
President Biden, what is his job approval rating? We measure it now at 40%, with 57% disapproving. The significance, that is the lowest President Biden has ever measured. On foreign policy, 33% approve of Joe Biden's job performance. Just in September, we asked the same question, and it was 41-53.
Despite his stance being unpopular, Biden is standing with his belief that the USA must back up both Israel and Ukraine.
We're the United States of America, for God's sake. The most powerful nation in the history, not in the world, in the history of the world. The history of the world. We can take care of both of these and still maintain our overall international defense.
And the establishment is with the Biden administration on this, though the American people are not. Things aren't going so well for Benjamin Netanyahu in Israel either. Polls show voters shifting away from Likud toward the Israeli National Unity Party. In addition to that, Bibi's defense minister and his IDF chief are having their popularity decline, and the popularity of Benjamin Netanyahu, even among his own party members, is starting to sink. When it gets down to it, Americans, Israelis, and people in general just don't much like war. The public is not thrilled about billions of dollars being spent on death and destruction.
I feel that we have a lot of issues here in New York, in the United States itself. It's like they got money for war, they got money for everything, but except for the poor. It's like, it's incomprehensible. I don't agree with that.
I don't believe it's fair. I mean, I guess has a lot of problems here in the country. 50 states. I don't recall Israel or Ukraine being part of the United States of America, so I don't believe it's fair.
Okay. And do you think we can afford to pay for two wars at once?
I don't believe so. I don't believe we can afford it for long without being a problem for us, so I don't believe we should keep doing that.
But the Biden administration seems dug in. The White House is committed to learning things the hard way. Caleb Maupin, RT, New York.
Tesla CEO Elon Musk presents the company's Cybertruck as deliveries open at an event in Austin, Texas. Arlene Ocampo tells us more.
4 years after starting the car world with designs for the Cybertruck, Elon Musk marks the arrival of Tesla's iconoclastic take on the American pickup.
We have a car here that experts said was impossible, that experts said would never be made, that it really is the most. I think it's our best product. I think it's the most unique thing on the road. And finally, the future will look like the future.
The Cybertruck's design, to some, has evoked a futuristic, sometimes dystopian future akin to Blade Runner or Mad Max. The belated debut comes as other automakers have delayed capital investments due to sluggish demand for electric vehicles. Tesla itself has undertaken numerous price cuts despite its share price staying lofty. The launch event includes a demo conducted by a vehicle designer intended to highlight the truck's toughness. Its body emerged unscathed from an encounter with a sledgehammer. The window, however, cracked when struck with a metal ball. Arlene Ocampo from Matanang Agila International, trusted, connected, on point.
Up next, Ohio joins the list of areas declaring a pneumonia outbreak in children. A passenger is caught trying to smuggle Peruvian wildlife. And are robots on their way to become more human? Matanang Agila International will be back with more global news. Stay tuned.
In a digital age where convenience is key, the ACM group of companies has combined cutting-edge technology and traditional services to create a seamless ecosystem. Learn more about convenient bill payments, banking, food delivery, and so much more. With its VIP centers and VIPs Citizen app, find out how they're bridging the gap between online convenience and personal touch, delivering VIP services at your fingertips.
Ako po personally, ang isa sa mga advice ko is to go franchise muna. Sa franchising po kasi may system na yan, may pangalan na yan and everything. Papatakbuhin na lang.
Open for Business with Cesar Vallejos, Sunday, 9 p.m.
An outbreak of pediatric pneumonia cases in Ohio is causing concern among parents worried that the spread of the illness is linked to a surge in similar cases in China and other countries around the globe. Ohio is the first state in the U.S. to report an outbreak of the illness, with an extremely high number of children being hospitalized. Ohio is not the only area outside of China to report an outbreak. The Netherlands and Denmark are also reported to have spikes in walking pneumonia cases, most common in younger children. This particular strain of pneumonia, dubbed white lung syndrome, has spawned more than 1,000 pediatric cases in the past months. The number of cases exceeds the country's average, meeting the State Department of Health's classification as an outbreak. Officials, however, do not think it is a new respiratory disease, but rather a common threat linking all illnesses as part of an ongoing investigation. Children are also testing positive for mycoplasma pneumonia, strep, and adenovirus, which includes a common cold. The health district says that it is working closely with the health department, local children's hospitals, and primary care or care providers to determine the cause of the illness and further prevent its spread. Russia's Ministry of Emergency Situations said a fire erupted in a clothing market in Rostov-on-Don. City Mayor Alexei Logvinenko disclosed that the fire has spread over the area of 3,000 square meters. Logvinenko said no injuries have been reported, assuring the fire will not spread over to residential housing. The Russian Interior Ministry says police units have been sent to cordon off the marketplace. Investigations results show that the blaze originated at the consumer goods stalls of the market. Meanwhile, an early morning fire at a hostel in Kazakhstan has claimed at least 13 lives. The blaze broke out Thursday in the Central Asian country's largest city, Almaty. Krisan Fragata has the details.
Kazakhstan officials say the victims likely suffocated in the basement of the building. Local media reports the fire started in the basement about 5:30 a.m. A criminal investigation has been launched. Emergency officials say 72 people had been staying at the hostel. Rescuers managed to get 59 of them to safety. Russian media reports 2 of the victims are Russian citizens. A lax approach to safety regulations in Kazakhstan is widespread, often leading to deadly situations. Krisan Fragata from Matanang Agila International, trusted, connected, on point.
In Peru, dozens of exotic animals were confiscated by authorities from a passenger traveling from the U.S. to an undisclosed country in Asia. Bobby Soriano tells us more.
Peruvian authorities opened cans, flasks, and other containers holding 160 exotic animals, from snakes to turtles and spiders. They were seized at the international airport in the capital, Lima. The National Forestry and Wildlife Service says the animals were confiscated from a passenger traveling from Miami. The passenger's final destination was an unspecified Asian country where the animals were supposedly to be marketed. The agency says the animals were in deplorable conditions inside medicine bottles, plastic toolboxes, and even wrapped with cotton inside straws. They were distributed in shoe boxes inside 2 suitcases. 29 specimens were hidden inside a container of powdered milk for children. Also found were 15 specimens of internationally protected species, such as the Savannah monitor, Jackson's chameleon, and the map turtle. 4 specimens died due to overcrowding and lack of food. The confiscated small animals were taken to a zoo in Lima. The agency estimates the animals' black market value at around $60,000. Illegal wildlife trafficking moves around $20 billion in the world. Interpol says it is considered one of the 4 most lucrative crimes. This illegal trade is one of the main causes of biodiversity loss. Bobby Soriano from Matanang Agila International, trusted, connected, on point.
Dozens of South Korean farmers who raise dogs for meat protested outside the presidential office in Seoul Thursday. They are upset with a proposed bill that will ban dog meat consumption. Elise Danielle reports.
South Korean farmers brought their farm dogs with them in a plan to unleash the animals in front of the government building. That led to clashes with police. Authorities arrested several of the protesters. Restaurant owners and others involved in the dog meat industry joined the protest. Ju Yong-bong of the National Dog Farm Association says if the law passes, farmers will carry out their promise to release the 2 million dogs that they breed in front of the president's office. The farmers say the government is telling them to quit their business but is not offering any reasonable compensation. One farmer says people keep pigs, rabbits, and goats as pets. He says if the same logic is applied, the government should be telling people not to eat those animals. Elise Danielle for Matanang Agila International, trusted, connected, on.
Engineers from around the world are showcasing their inventions at the International Robot Exhibition in Tokyo, and the mechanical helpers seem to be getting more human-like. Jessica Bautista reports.
A couple of inventions showcased at the exhibit include a massage robot and a humanoid that can pick up things like trash bags and boxes. This humanoid might be handy to have around the house to handle mundane chores. Here it is taking out the garbage. Built by Kawasaki, it is designed like a real human male. Stands 180 centimeters tall and weighs about 80 kilograms. Here's another automaton. This robot developed by Chinese firm Obo is giving a man a message. It is designed on the concept of Chinese medicine. Apparently, 5,000 of them have been sold, many of them to massage studios in China. And here's yet another made by Japan's Next Stage. Here, it is doing kitchen chores. Dozens of other gadgets are on display that do everything from heavy manufacturing to laparoscopic surgery. Jessica Bautista for Matanang Agila International, trusted, connected, on point.
Coming right up, Adam and Mary Goldberg are trying to make the world a better place one stray at a time. The NBA season is no stranger to big moments and surprises. And is everyone ready for the Asia Artist Awards 2023? Catch more news in sports and entertainment when we return.
Expose. Isa pang sanggol na namatay dahil sa naiturok na gamot sa ospital sa Nueva Ecija. Inimbisigahan.
Parang araw-araw sinasaksak ako kasi sobrang sakit nga po talaga.
Viral ngayon, isang PWD na nagtitinda sa kalsada para maipangtustos sa kanilang mga gastusin at sa kanyang pag-aaral. Ating nirespondihan. Exclusive. Lalaking may luslo sa problema sa mata mula sa lalawigan ng Palawan, nagparesponde.
Salamat po. Marami po salamat.
Sabado, alas 6 hanggang alas 7 ng gabi, ito ang Responde. Mata ng Mamamayan.
Adam and Mary Goldberg will do whatever it takes to capture a great pet photo. Sometimes that means taking a dog for a run to release her nervous energy and bring out her friendly smile. The Goldbergs are the owners of a Gold Photo pet photography studio in Tampa, Florida, but they say some of their most impactful work takes place a short drive away at the Humane Society of Tampa Bay. The two animal photographers volunteer to take flattering, friendly photos that capture shelter pets' individuality and character. These images serve as pets' first introduction to potential adopters. Over the last 5 years, the Goldbergs have photographed more than 1,200 shelter animals and also raised over $250,000 for homeless pets. They've photographed it all from skittish cats and rambunctious dogs to guinea pigs, ferrets, rats, rabbits, birds, even squirrels and baby raccoons. The NBA has proved to everyone how it still has the world's best players as role players take over for superstar-led teams in game time. Vin Pasqua has the score.
In the NBA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scored 33 points, leading the Oklahoma City Thunder to beat LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers 133-110. Gilgeous-Alexander made 11 of 18 field goals and 10 of 10 free throws. Jalen Williams scored 21 points and Chet Holmgren added 18 for the Thunder, who were coming off close losses to Philadelphia and Minnesota previously. Anthony Davis led Los Angeles Lakers with 31 points and 14 rebounds. LeBron had 21 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 assists for the Lakers. However, he was forced to leave the game with a left calf contusion. The injury-plagued Lakers had an up-and-down week. They lost to Philadelphia by 44 points on Monday, then bounced back to defeat Detroit by 26. While on the other side of the league, the Milwaukee Bucks played with fire a bit too long as the Chicago Bulls beat them 120-113 in overtime at the United Center. Bucks rallied from a 12-point fourth-quarter deficit to take a 3-point lead in the final seconds. But the Bulls forced overtime and then had more gas than the visitors to close it out in the extra session. Chicago snapped a 5-game losing streak. Giannis Antetokounmpo led the Bucks with 26 points and 14 rebounds, but he had only 4 points on 3 shots at halftime. Damian Lillard finished with 18 points on 7 of 16 shooting, but he had just 1 point and didn't make a basket in the second half. He led the team with 13 assists. Brook Lopez scored 20 points. All-stars DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine missed the game, but the NBA is a league where role players can take over games, where Alex Caruso and Nicolas Vucevic show them how defense wins games. Reporting for sports, Vin Pasqua for Mata ng Agila International. Trusted, connected, on point.
Ready for more? The 2023 Asia Artist Awards, or AAA, is one of the biggest award shows for Asian artists that will be held in the Philippines this year. The 2023 Asia Artist Awards will take place at the Philippine Arena on December 14, with a marked lineup of top K-pop idols and artists. At the red carpet will start at 12:30 p.m., while the award show is at 3 p.m. This prestigious event will be co-hosted by the Asia Artist Awards Organizing Committee, Tons Entertainment, and Pulp Live Worlds. In the upcoming event, big-time K-pop idols such as IVE's Jang Won-young, Zero Base One Song Han Bin, and Kang Daniel will be hosting during this year's event. Moreover, the artists' lineup includes Kim Jae-jung, Dinjin, Lee Jung-ji, Dreamcatcher, Card, Ash Island, Yao Chen, Stacy, Kepler, Tempest, La Pilus, 17 BSS, SB19, One US Kingdom, Atbo, Lanate, Horizon, Akmu, Lim, Young, Wong, Ben, and Wib. It has also been confirmed that the lineup for actors and actresses that will include Kim Seon-ho, An Hyo-seop, Kim Se-jong, Moon Ka-young, Lee Dong-hui, Lee Jun-hyuk, Ya or Cha Yu-jung, or Ju-young, Lee Yeon-sim, 2 PM's Lee Jun-ho, Jung Sung-kil, Kim Young-dae, Lee Jun-young, Moon Sang-min, Yoo Seon-ho, An Dong-gu, DKZ's Jai-chan, EXO Suho, Kentaro Sakaguchi, and Kim Ji-hoon. The official banking partner of this year's AAA is Metro Bank, in which the credit card holders can get a chance in a lifetime chance to be at the front and center of this star-studded event. As for the ticket details, fans can help or visit the Pulp Tickets websites at pulptickets.com and enter the first 6 digits of their Metro Bank credit card to unlock access to pre-sale tickets. For more updates, stay tuned for the live streaming schedule that will be announced soon. Here's something for our Filipino auteurs out there. A couple of French films guaranteed to tickle the art house films. Stephanie Mayo has the details.
The ongoing French Film Festival in the Philippines will end on Sunday, December 3rd, but it's not too late to catch these 3 French films in select SM cinemas. Animal Kingdom. Humans are turning into animals. The world is suddenly hit by a freaky wave of mutations. The French-Belgian science fiction action thriller directed by Thomas Gailey also has a family drama at its center. It had its world premiere at this year's Cannes Film Festival. Dolly, in the mood for a quirky comedy? The comedy drama garnered a perfect 100% score at Rotten Tomatoes. It is dubbed as the real fake biopic about the surrealist artist Salvador Dali. The film follows a French journalist who meets with Dali for a documentary project. The film had its world premiere at the 80th Venice International Film Festival. The Taste of Things. If you're a hopeless romantic, this one's for you. Directed by Vietnamese director Tran Anh Hong, who won Best Director at this year's Cannes Film Festival, the historical romantic drama stars Juliette Binoche and Benoit Magimel. Swoon and fall in love with this year's French entry to the Oscars Best International Feature Film category. Stephanie Mayo for Mata ng Agila International, trusted, connected, on point.
And for those who love to savor various food menus, visit the Night Bazaar happening now at Net 25's grounds on Central Avenue, open from the 1st to the 8th of December. Aside from enjoying it with family and friends, you'll also be contributing to small businesses. Here's Catherine Ortula with the details.
The much-anticipated event has finally opened. The Net 25 Night Bazaar at Net 25 grounds on Central Avenue, Quezon City. Net 25 President Cesar Vallejos led the ribbon-cutting ceremony, joined by other officials, hosts, and talents of Net 25. Among them were network consultant for entertainment Ms. Wilma Galvante and talents such as Ali Soto, Aramina, Tony Pet Gaba, and other stars.
Welcome everyone to our Net 25 Night Bazaar.
Over 60 micro, small, and medium enterprises participated in the Net 25 Night Bazaar, as the management's goal is to help small businesses showcase their products. Actress and TV host Miss Adomina also joined the bazaar, offering her clothing at affordable prices. Families are sure to enjoy the Night Bazaar, where a variety of delicious food and non-food items are available at reasonable prices. In addition to the food trip, there's a night market, open mic, acoustic night, pet parade, and entertainment night for Net 25 fans to enjoy. The Net25 Night Bazaar will run from the 1st to the 8th of December, so come and join the festivities. Catherine Ertula for Mata ng Agila International. Trusted, connected, on point.
And to end the week, here's a quote from American rapper Earl Simmons, also known as DMX. Anything that's not positive, I don't have the energy to focus on it. Anything that's not going in the right direction, I don't have the time or the energy. Well, that's easier said than done if you ask me, and honestly, sometimes we can't help but face negativity. But the thing is, and what's important is that we don't dwell in it. We snap out of it and keep moving forward. Have a happy weekend. That's a wrap for tonight's news. Catch the latest updates on our social media channels. I'm Nina Richie Alago Flores. This is Mata ng Agila International. Trusted, connected, on point. Thank you for choosing and On Point with stories from around the globe. Follow, like, and subscribe to @Net25 TV.